Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe F1 YouTube channel for round number 1 of Season 6 of Formula 1. My name is Aidan Carter, otherwise known as Carmentis. I'll be taking you through proceedings in Division 3 this season, and usually in the commentary box, it would be Relentless Nolan alongside me. Unfortunately, he is not able to commentate this evening, so joining me tonight for the first round of the season will be Jess. Jess, how are you doing this evening?
Thank you very much for having me, Aidan, and hello everybody. Welcome to Bahrain. Division 3 looks like it's a very good grid this season with some familiar faces and some faces that we don't necessarily know of. So we can't wait to get the season underway and we'll see what the pecking order stands after tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see what the pecking order is going to be. Of course, in the gap between the second preseason race that we had and this one, we have unfortunately lost a division. So we've gone from 6 to 5 just to make sure that we can get full grids every single week, which I think was a good decision. So that means that the grids that we're seeing have changed quite drastically. There has been a big shift around in some of the teams and the divisions that we're being displayed on tonight. Of course, that means that there's going to be a brand new pecking order. So those that maybe were really strong in their preseason races may not quite have the same performance in the opening round of the season. And of course, Bahrain as well, the first round of the season, first round of the regular F1 season as well. This track always provides great racing, doesn't it? The layout of the track, the different strategy options you can have, it's always a really, really good track to get started.
Yeah, it is. First used in 2004, which was actually held as a day race back then, and it was won in dominant fashion by Michael Schumacher, believe it or not, and then it was used as a night race at the start of the hybrid era back in 2014. We saw the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg fight as a duel with the battle towards the very end of the race, and it was very, very good as well. And very, very recently in the first race of the season, like we talked about with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, they were fighting pretty much down to the wire, and then Lewis Hamilton took the win now. It was amazing to see the two championship contenders showing what they're made of as well. And I like this as the first round of the season. It's very, very tough in terms of being a power circuit, meaning that low downforce is very, very key, of course. But a lot of drivers obviously get used to the handling and stuff, but they obviously got used to that in the pre-season races, of course. But, you know, for some drivers, they're in a division higher than they expected, so it may take a while for them to get near the top and for the points as well. And more opportunities for people to get points this season, and that I can see it as a good thing as well. But, you know, I'm really, really excited for this one. And we got an 80-minute qualifying session as per usual, and we will see who's a qualifying merchant around this Bahrain track, but it may not necessarily translate to the race. So let's hope they're good in qualifying and in the race, Aidan.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing I was going to mention as well myself, is that on this game so far, it does seem like qualifying maybe doesn't hold as much of a precedent as it did on the previous game. The previous game was really, really vital for you to get a good qualifying because of the amount of DRS training we would see and how relatively easy the last game was to keep the car on the road. As we know from the first 2 preseason races, that is definitely not the case on this game. This game has, well, the first 2 races we've had in LOE have been somewhat of a race of attrition so far. There's been a lot happening in the preseason races, so you really need to find the best race setup that you can and maybe compromise qualifying. That seems to be kind of the trend of how it is going so far this season. Of course, Bahrain, one of those tracks where you're going to find quite a few specialist drivers. Speaking of specialist drivers around this circuit, the first driver onto the track is QVR Chill in the Aston Martin. He'll be in the Aston Martin for the full season alongside his teammate Funky Chicken. Look out for those two. They're going to be a very strong manufacturer pairing this season. And Chill last season didn't have the best of seasons in Division 3. Did win the manufacturers, but with a lot of help from Old School. But this was one of the tracks where Chill really shined last season. So he could be right up there as well. Jess, is there anyone else that you think that could be right up at the front of the field?
Well, there was a few drivers that were mentioned in some of the social media posts as well. I would say one of which I think it was Tin Can as well, I believe, was mentioned in Division 3 as being one of the key contenders as well. And obviously we got Harry as well, who looked so strong in the pre-season race. I believe one of them was in China where he crashed, unfortunately, but he took pole in Lobby 5, I think it was Division 5, so there was no way he'll be in Division 5 this season. That's why he's increased from Division 5 to Division 3, so keep an eye on him with the Mercedes pairing of J. Cole as well. And obviously we got the likes of Noah, who is very, very quick on this game. I've seen in other leagues on this game that did Bahrain before ours, of course. And maybe JSD as well, but I do recognise some names from Division 3 last season because I have watched lot of the Division 3 races last season, because obviously I was jeffing someone from it, but he's now in Division 4, so I don't really watch Division 3, obviously, unless I'm commentating on it. So a lot of names to look out for, but obviously we can't predict too much because brand new game and a brand new season. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, we're basing a lot of our predictions off of two very highly atrocious pre-season races, so we're bound to get something wrong at some point, but we're on board with Chill. Just speaking of Chill, first lap in qualifying and he's spun the car, and that's him out of the session. He is out against the wall. Chill, a real tip for pole position, riding on board with him on his first lap, and he's just dropped the car through turn 7. So easily done. That outside curb has caught out so many drivers in the past, and this time around Chill is the first to fall foul of it. We're currently on board with Peter Gillis, previously known as CTG Damon. He's another one that's had a spin through 6 this time. Too much curb on the inside and has spun the car through the corner, manages to get away with it, but that is 2 spinners in the same section of the track already, and no one said a lap time yet. That just goes to show how difficult it is to master a qualifying session on this game. Chill, though, a massive potential front runner, out before he's even able to set a lap time.
And starting near the back in Bahrain is not as easy as it looks, to be honest. Ideally, if you want to do the alternate strategy on this game, probably P11, P12, and Chill will be starting dead last unless someone in the order bins it as well, which is probably highly unlikely. So he probably will be starting near the back. So we're starting to see some good times on the board, actually, from the 2 Mercedes guys. 125.4s, 125.9. So 4 tenths separating between a Mercedes pair at the moment. We got Black Poma. I think I've said that name right. Apologies if I get these names wrong. He's on the mediums right now, and I think mixture of strategies here today. The softs can only last 10 laps or so, so they want to get out of the softs very, very quickly. But even though the hards can last about, I think according to my tyre data that I prepared before this race, 18 laps, I've seen drivers take these hards for about 20, 21 laps, so it is doable if you can manage your tyres right. But if your tyre management is not the best, then probably 18 laps is the best you can do. As Tin Can, one of my drivers to watch, currently sets the benchmark with a 125.1, looking pretty good so far to be getting into the 124s this early on.
Yeah, definitely looking like we could be getting that fairly soon. It's Ferrari 1-3 at the moment. Luco 5 has gone into 3rd place on a 25.3 as well, with solid lap time from him. He was running in the midfield in Division 3 last season, so we'll see what he can do. Darry as well, a reserve driver last season, had a stellar pre-season. He did. He's up into 2nd place already in that McLaren, so a great start for those 3. Harry Ogden currently holds 4th ahead of Rekurik, who's down from D2 into D3 for the first time. He is currently 5th. B. Morgan, our first reserve driver of the evening. He is in the Alfa Romeo tonight, filling in for Ramos, who unfortunately cannot attend, so look out for him. Forza Brendan as well, last season's Division 4 champion. He is up there in 7th place. We've still got some people yet to set lap times. Trenchko is currently the only one that hasn't set a lap time, who is currently on a lap. He's coming up to the line now in the Alpine, and he will go P12 on a 25.9. Not a bad lap time. And there's quite a few, well, I say quite a few. There are 5 drivers currently sat in the 25.9s at the moment, from J. Cole down to Trent, 8th down to 12th. All separated by less than half a tenth of a second almost. So really close at the bottom end of the top 10 at the moment. YHYY just outside of that. Black Poma then, the medium compound tyres. Interesting to see him go on the medium compounds at the start of the session. I think it's maybe not to start on the tyres, but maybe to save a set of soft compound tyres for the race.
Yes, and maybe also to make sure you have enough sauce for your final 3 stints going into this qualifying session, because the drivers, like in real life, they don't get a choice of tyres. In real life, Pirelli actually choose what sets of softs, mediums and hards take into practice, qualifying and the race. So they replicated onto the game. So the sets that they get in qualifying is similar to the balance set that you get in F1 2020. So you get 3 sets of softs and 1 set of mediums. They don't get a choice on whether to add 1 extra set of softs or maybe 1 set of hards potentially as well. So no one will be going on to the hards in this session. It's either the softs or the mediums. That's it. So if I was them, I probably would have done a set on the mediums first, because if I bin it on 1 set of softs in my first run, just like Chill done for example, you only have 2 more softs to deal with for the rest of the session, and you should have time to do plenty of stints in the 80-minute qualifying session that you have. So good to get a feel for the track as well with those memes, because you can know your braking zone as well. And you're using, ideally, the memes in the race at some point, because you never know, there could be a safety car. So it's just nice to get a feel of both tyre compounds as well, heading into the race weekend as well. So I'm not surprised that some people did some of their laps on the mediums just to get a feel and to save some softs for the qualifying session.
Yeah, and Karen, while we're talking about that, just goes into provisional pole position, the first one into the 1 minute 24s. Interestingly, TRT Trent in the other Alpine went into 5th on his second lap on that same set of tyres. That's a bizarre move around Bahrain. Tyre wear here is pretty high on the soft compound tyres, so anyone starting on worn softs is going to be at a disadvantage. But the fact that he's able to get a 25.4 on the second lap on that set of tyres could say something about his pace as well. Of course, Trent was on the podium at Bahrain last season in Division 3, so he's another one, just like Chill, that could be an underdog for this race. But Karen Robb then, a relative unknown to LOE, straight to the top of the timesheets, the first and the 24s. We're going to start to see people going out for the next runs. Brent's currently on the track, Peter Gillis is on the track as well, so is IFR Noah. They've not set times as of yet. Noah is the first of those drivers on a lap. He's just coming through turn 10, so we're right on board with the Williams and see what he can do in this second half of the lap. He heads down the second of 3 DRS straights around this circuit, breaks just before the 50-metre board for turn 11, just misses the apex ever so slightly, but keeps the car tight to the left-hand side through turn 12, which is a lot trickier than it looks. In the qualifying it's easily flat, but in the race that is not the case. Through 13, tightens on the exit. Noah again, losing the rear of the car big time, getting away with it somehow, keeping it out of the barriers, but he's really struggled on this lap. We've been on board with him, he's just not really hit the apexes as he heads into turn 14, and then turn 15 will be the final corner. Again, the car sliding all over the place and up towards the line. Noah's lap not looked very strong at all. He crosses the line, it's only 15th on a 26.1 from the IFR driver. That is not what he would have wanted for his first run. Peter Gillis has just crossed the line. I don't know if he invalidated his first run or not. It looks like he might have done.
Yes,
he has
he
invalidated,
did.
so yeah, he'll say 18th. And Brent has done the same. Brent has also invalidated, so he'll say 20th for the time being. And that is one thing to note around this track as well, is that it's fairly easy to push the limits of this circuit. You get enticed to push the limits because the track is so wide, and because of that, it's really easy to invalidate.
Yeah, it is, and I'm just riding on board with Brent at the moment, and he's probably pushed the limits too much when he invalidated. He's also lost a front wing, so definitely he had to go into the pits there. I don't know where he binned it entirely, but I must have missed that. And unfortunately, the damage model on this game is a lot harder than in previous games. You can get so much damage in more places than in previous games, as well as front wing. You can also get damage on the side pod, diffuser damage, floor damage, and rear wing. The only damage that's repairable is the front wing. All the rest is unrepairable. And we saw that in some of the pre-season races. Quite a lot of drivers getting floor damage, and it's just so hard to plant your car getting with that damage, and you've got to suffer for that for the rest of the race. And it's important that you do not give up with these type of scenarios as well. So the drivers are probably going to take it a little bit more cautious in turn 1, because A, it's the start of the season, and B, due to the damage models, that they don't want to take some drivers out and damage their own races, because if you do touch someone and take them out, you're more than likely going to be suffering the consequences, which I quite like. I never suffered floor damage on this game so far, but I definitely might probably suffer it soon, and I definitely do not want to, as we're seeing a few more drivers coming across the line, set their next banker lap time. We've got Luke in the Ferrari coming towards the final corner now. Let's see what he could do. He's looking quite good. 4/100s quicker than his previous best, a 125.354. Black Prima actually goes a bit faster, 125.3. Only Carmen in the 124s at the moment. Darry's just the closest man to him right now. We're seeing a few yellow flags of people moving out of the way, and Tinkan just pips him by 1/10 almost with a 124.7. Incredible lap time from him. Let's see if he can go even quicker. And he's probably on a much higher fuel load than what he's going to do at the end of qualifying. So imagine his lap time later on in the session. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a brilliant lap time for Tinkan to go just over half a tenth clear at the top of the field. We'll see what Rob can do on his second run. Interestingly, Rob's only been out for one run so far, and he's sat in the pit, so he's not going out for another run just yet. Doesn't maybe feel the need to go out for another run. Darry then up to third in the McLaren, his teammate Black Poma in sixth. So a strong start for McLaren once again. Looked like I say, a slight improvement, but a lot of people making big improvements around him, so he's not really been able to jump up the field with that slight improvement in time. We're still waiting for laps from Peter Gillis and Brent. Brent's interested in going out on the medium compound tyres, so we'll see what kind of lap time he can do. Peter Gillis is still stuck in the pit lane, so he's not going out for another run as of yet. And I believe at the moment we've got nobody on an actual lap. Everyone's either in the pits or has just finished their second run. But interesting to see that very few drivers have gone out for their second run. We've had about half the field go out for a second run. The rest of them have sat in the pits.
That is a bit of a short, because usually you would get 3 runs in as well, but maybe because they only were using the soft compounder tyres for their first run, and they only have literally 1 or 2 more tyres left for their final run, and they want to have the softest tyre possible with the freshest grip when it goes to the end, because it's soon the car before the storm. But to be honest with you, three tyres is enough, so I don't get why people are still in the pits. But Brent, interestingly enough, is on the medium tyres right now, and he's going on a lap now. So I wonder if he's going to have enough time to go into the pit lane and set a lap on the softs, or maybe he's just very, very happy. Maybe he's going to go for the alternate strategy. And I've seen other leagues around here. Most leagues, I believe, are starting their campaign in Bahrain, of course. So obviously, the first track you go to on this game is Bahrain. So a lot of drivers have had a lot of practice on this in career mode too. And Brent probably have seen other leagues do the alternate strategy, in particular the PC League, which was on Friday, yesterday around 8 p.m. So if you want to check that out after these streams tonight, of course, make sure you do check it out. But it's a whole different kettle of fish than PlayStation. But Brent has learned probably a lot about the alternate strategy. So I think he's aiming not for pole tonight, but I would say the infamous P11. But he's got purple sector too. Surely that's not right, but probably that's the game lying. Or maybe he's on a fast lap on those mediums. If it's a quicker lap on those mediums compared to the softs, then that's probably insane. That will definitely give him an advantage over his rivals come the race. So he comes across the line now. Where's that put him? Not quite in the alternate strategy pole position, in P14. Let's just hope he goes into the pits in time to set one final lap.
He's going to be right on the bubble, I think, to get another run in. But a 26 flat on the medium compound tyres is a pretty solid time from Brent. That is not bad at all. The gap in pace around here tends to ebb and flow between 9/10 to about 1.5 seconds, really depending on how well you can get out of some of these traction zones. That is the key part of this circuit, is the traction zones through turn 2, turn 4, turn 8, turn 10, turn 13 and turn 15. There's so many around this track that you need to absolutely nail. But that might be Brent's session over and done with. Noah and Peter Gillis have gone out again. They're the first 2 out on run, so we'll ride with the Alfa Romeo driver of Peter Gillis. Of course, he was my teammate last season in Division 3. Didn't have the best of seasons, unfortunately. Looking to try and maybe get a bit more of a few more points this time around in that Alfa Romeo. Still without a time, the only driver yet to set a time in this session, apart from Chill, of course. But Chill spun coming out of turn 7. If you missed that, he spun on his very first lap in the session, put the car in the barriers before he was able to complete his first run. Let's ride on board then for a full lap on board the Alfa Romeo. He'll take us through the 15 turns at Bahrain onto his final run in this session. He heads down the very long pit straight. He'll brake just before the 100 metre board for turn 1. It dips a little bit at the apex here. Difficult to get the traction down. A bit of a tight line through turn 2. But he's able to get the power down nicely through turn 3, which is easily flat. And then up towards turn 4. Trench moves out the way nicely. Hits the brakes for turn 4, using as much of the track as you can, keeping it in 4th gear to nail the wheel spin on the exit. Runs over the curb, but it's a nice first sector. 0.5 is not bad in the first sector, but it's not the fastest we've seen through turn 7 though, and he's done exactly the same as we saw Chill do earlier on, and it's the exact same consequence. Peter has lost his rear wheel. He is out of the session. 2 drivers with exactly the same mistake at the same corner, and neither of them able to set times in the session, as everyone else is now coming out onto the track. We'll ride with Noah for the rest of his lap then. He's just gone through turn 8, where Damon has parked the car in the barriers. He's coming through turn 9 and 10 at the moment, but a lot of understeer through turn 10. Gets the car caught on the curb on the exit and really loses the rear of the car because of it. Noah's not looked in control of that Williams all qualifying session long. He had a pretty solid pre-season. The pace here at Bahrain's just not coming for him so far. We'll look for his middle sector time. Keeps it very tight to the inside of the corner. It's across. It's only a 4.7 in the middle part. That is comparable to what we saw Brent do. So Noah at the moment not really looking like he's going to improve anywhere beyond his teammate in 15th place. So we're riding with him up to the final 2 corners through turn 14. Hops over the curb nicely. 15 is barely a corner. It is a kink on the exit. And up towards the line. Noah currently 17th. He'll cross the line. And he will only go 15th. So from a strong pre-season for Noah, 15th is the best he can manage. That is not what he would have wanted. It's now up to Raleigh to bring the Williams up to the front of the field.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure the teams will be working together to make sure they score the most points possible. And that's not what Noah wants. And I think Rally must be feeling under the pressure as well. And yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more people suffering from understeer more on this track than last game. So that is what drivers have been practicing as much as they can as well. And I'm almost certain Noah won't be going out again because he crossed the line with 1 minute 25 to go. So that is it for Noah for qualifying. But for everybody else, they're on their final laps now, as I'm just seeing who's going to cross the line to start their final laps. We've got the two Red Bull boys of Forza Brendan and Y just crossed the line to start their final laps. But I do believe we have one of the Ferraris about to finish off their lap. That is Luke 05 HD. If he's got enough fuel in the tank, he may go out for another run, but I doubt it due to the amount of ERS he has in his car. So DRS wide open, flat out to the line, and he comes across the line 1/10 quicker than his previous best. P4 for him. We also got the Haas driver of, I think is Tim, who's coming across the line in 14th position. He can't improve. We have an AlphaTauri of Brent, who's about to start his final run. I believe he will be one of the final drivers to set a final run in qualifying session, because we do not have that long to go. Nope, he didn't make it to the flag in time. That is awful timing for Brent there. That is qualifying done for the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, that is really unlucky. He was obviously going out to try and improve on that medium run and missed out by just a couple of seconds. That is such a shame. So it's only 17th for Brent on the grid. B. Morgan's invalidated his final run, so 5th is the best he'll be able to hope for. Here come the McLarens to the line, though. Darry currently 3rd. What can he do as he crosses the line? He stays 3rd. He goes on to a 24.8, just behind Carwin Robb, less than a 10th off current pole position, but stays 3rd. Rakurik's gone 4th, ahead of Black Poma, who's 5th. Funky Chicken's crossed the line and has gone into 6th position. One of the Red Bulls up to the line now. That is YHYY, who's gone 5th fastest. Across the line comes Tin Can. Tin Can can't improve. Carwin Robb can't improve. He's invalidated on his final run. So Tin Can wasn't able to capitalise and move further away, but his closest challenger in Carwin Robb wasn't able to improve. The only person left on the lap is Harry Noir, currently 13th. Doesn't look like he will be able to challenge at the front of the field. He's coming down towards the final corner for the last time. Currently 13th on the grid. Can he get any further up the grid? Currently 25.4 is his best time. Around the final corner he comes up towards the line. Harry Noir from 14th. He goes P4 with a brilliant improvement. 0.4 of a second he found on that final run to put himself on the second row. That is qualifying over and done with, I believe. Everyone has finished their runs, and it is Tin Can on pole position, but just look how close it is. Less than a 10th covers the top 3.
That is insane that these drivers are so close. It looks like the admins that did the placements have definitely done something right in placing all these drivers in Division 3. And look at J. Cole and Brendan's time, separated by 3,000 of a second between 11th and 12th place. 3,000, and Brendan would have been in the alternate strategy pole position. But the alternate strategy pole position goes to J. Cole tonight. So I'm sure he'll be happy with that. He probably want to be starting on the mediums and hards, but excellent lap from Tin Can, but so close for Carwin. It could have been any one of those drivers in the top 3, I would say, that would get pole position, but it is Tin Can that pits everybody to the poster there.
Yeah, gets it done with his second run in qualifying. Then it's only through the full order. It's Tin Can on pole position for the first race of the season by just over half a tenth from Carwin Robb, and Darry in 3rd. Harry Noir on the second row in 4th ahead of Rakurik and YHYY. Black Poma ahead of Funky Chicken. Luke 05 and B Morgan round off your top 10. Those 10 drivers will be starting on the soft compound tyres. J. Cole in that pole position for the alternate strategy, like you say, in 11th ahead of Forza Brendan. Teorg is in 13th ahead of Trent, Raleigh, Noah, Brent, JSD, Peter Gillis and Chill round off the 20 drivers. Peter Gillis and Chill not able to set times in that session. And just to prove how close it was, while it was only less than a 10th covering the top 3, it was less than 4/10 covering the entire top 10. So that is incredibly, incredibly close. So that should make for some really, really good racing. And we've seen we mentioned it already on this stream, that racing around Bahrain is incredibly close. So if qualifying is anything to go by, anyone really from this top 10 or below could win this race.
That is very, very exciting as well. And for people outside the top 10, we don't know what strategy they're going to go on either, and they could still win this race as well. So I would say top 15, I think, have a realistic chance of winning this race. Anyone outside of that probably has not much for hope, but they could possibly still get points. We did see people go from last to points before, but we will find out as well. But it's only the first race of the season. So, you know, there's still plenty of opportunities for people to get things right and make amends. It is quite a long calendar heading up to the end of December. So, but you don't really want to have off races at the start of the season. If you have a good race now, this will help you in the momentum going into the next race, which is United States next week, which is the next race as well. So there's some tracks which some drivers like, some tracks some drivers hate, but you've got to learn to adapt to them as well. So we're looking at the tyre choices of the drivers here tonight. Everyone outside the top 10, apart from JSD_1, is on the medium compounded tyres, which is to be expected. You can either do mediums to hard, which is probably what people would go for. Some people in some leagues I watched did medium to soft. It works if you can get your time management right, but I doubt a lot of people will be trying that tonight. But GSD wants to keep his options open, I guess, and want to do hard to soft, which is easily doable around here. And if you make it work, you could be near the podium places for sure if you get that alternate strategy card right, unless there's a safety car. So we will see. But obviously everyone in the top 10, they have to start on the soft compounded tyres. And I do believe the points remain unchanged from last season, so I do believe I'll do the top 12 score points. Is that right?
Yeah, that has remained for this season. So it is, like you say, the top 12 that will be scoring points in this race. And like you say, very interesting to see pretty much everyone on the medium compound tyres. I agree, we are going to see, I reckon, a few people maybe going for that medium soft, possibly the soft medium strategy. But you've got to get, if you're starting on the softs, you've got to get those soft tyres to at least lap 10 if you want to make that strategy work. And the problem with doing that is you could see people in on lap 6 for a fresh set of hards, and they could undercut you. The undercut of this track is very, very strong. So those people that are maybe going to try that soft medium strategy are going to have to stick to their guns and not try and pit too early and compromise, because you could end up with a puncture at the end of the race. Just before everyone lines up on the grid, though, I'm going to ask you, Jess, the impossible question. Who are you predicting for the race to win, or the top 3 today?
I think Tin Can is definitely going to be challenging for the race win. I'm going to say Tin Can. I'm going to go Harry, because he's usually good around Bahrain. And I'm going to go for a bold prediction. I like going bold predictions. I'm going to go for... actually, no, I'm going to scrap that. I think Chill's going to go for the win. Last to first. Last time I commentated on him around Bahrain, he started last, went on to win the race, and in that subsequent season, he went on to win the championship. So, interesting fact right there. So I'm going to go Chill, Tin Can, and Harry.
That is a good one. I think I'm going to go for Tin Can for this one. I'm going to go for Rob second. That's pretty boring. But I've got my eye on Forza Brendan from 12th place. He had a stellar pre-season. Look for him to maybe charge through the field. But everyone is now lined up on the grid. Here come the 5 lights then, ahead of our 20 drivers for Division 3. Lights are out fairly quickly, and we are underway for Season 6, and it looks like a fairly even start at the front of the field. They're fanning out 5 wide in the background. Some of the medium runners have had pretty good starts, but in towards turn 1, it's Tin Can that leads from Rob and Dari. Harry Nawag trying to challenge the McLaren around the outside of turn 2, gets forced onto the curb for 3, and just has to back out of it. That's going to allow B. Morgan to run up the outside towards turn 4. Is he going to be able to brake late enough to pass Harry into the corner? He's going to go clean around the outside, and B. Morgan is up into 4th place. That's a good start from him. It's fairly clean throughout the field. I don't think anyone has picked up damage in the early phases of this race, which is a good thing to see. We're through turn 7. Is anybody going to drop the car? We've seen a couple drivers already do it in qualifying, but everyone makes it through cleanly so far. It's Tin Can that leads the way from Kai, Rob and Dari. The top 3 remain unchanged from where they started. It's B. Morgan that's the first driver that's made places on this opening lap. A bit of a wobble there from Dari coming out of turn 10, and B. Morgan's looking for another move here up towards turn 11. Is he going to go for the outside line for the corner? Is he late enough on the brakes to pull it off? Not quite. Difficult to do so. He's going to try the switchback up the hill towards turn 12. He just doesn't have the momentum from the corner, but this is already allowing our top 2 to build a little bit of a gap at the end of this first lap. The medium runners at the back, it is J. Cole that still leads the way. Brent has had a stunning start from 17th on the grid. He's up to 12th in that AlphaTauri. What a start from him. Rally and Noah have also had good starts. Brendan from 12th has dropped to 15th.
And also B. Morgan as well, I'm looking at before lap 2, decides to have a little bit of a hissy fit with the timings and stuff. B. Morgan is getting 6th position, so he hasn't had the best start out of anyone. So I don't know how he had a lightning start, so I believe he started in 11th, or it might just be my timing glitch having a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, B. Morgan I think was the one who had the best start of everybody so far. But yeah, watch out for turn 7 later on. I'm surprised nobody has binned it yet, but I think the guy who dropped down into 20th has had the worst start. We got Peter that might have had a bit of an issue. No, because my timing has got a bit of an issue at the moment. And someone has had a bit of an off. I'm not quite sure who that is. That is Peter. So, yeah, but he's not had the best of starts. I think he's had the worst starts out of anybody. The Alfa Romeos not looking too good, are they?
No, not at the moment. No, B. Morgan's just got to move down on Darry, but in the process, completely forced Darry off the road. And Darry spun the car out of turn 10 and has hit the wall on traction. He's managed to keep the car going, but that is his front wing completely gone. There's our second driver to have spun. I don't know if Peter's picked up any damage. He hasn't picked up any damage, so he can continue on, but he's massively detached at the back of the field. It was a brutal move from B. Morgan earlier on. Also at the hairpin at turn 8, Harry Noir got all over the curb and got such a terrible run out of turn 8. He lost places to Recuric and YHYY in the run to turn 9, and now he's got Luke right behind him as well. So Harry Noir, from a good qualifying, is struggling. Forza Brendan's now gone for a spin at turn 12. He's managed to keep the car going, and I don't think he's got any damage, but that is another driver drop into the back of the field. He's down with Peter Gillis, who's going to go for a move in towards turn 14 on the Red Bull. He's still trying to recover some of that tyre temperature, but my word, lap 1 wasn't very adventurous. Lap 2, it's completely blown up in our faces as Luke is going for that move into turn 2, around the outside of turn 2. A little bit of argy-bargy there. Harry Noel just kind of understeering into the side of the Ferrari, and here comes Black Poma to make it another double overtake on Harry Noir, who was just plummeting, and now Funky Chicken down the inside looking for a move up towards turn 5. He's not quite going to get the run out of the corner, but Harry Noir started 4th and he's down to 8th.
Not good for Harry so far, but very good for people lower down the field trying to make positions. Funky Chicken is making moves left, right and centre, and the other McLaren of back Parima having a much better start than his teammate, I have to say, as well. And some drivers, they're probably new to the lead, but they definitely want to get their elbows out, don't they? And lap 1, they're probably like, take it cautious lap 1 and treat lap 2 as lap 1 potentially as well, when they're going to actually go for moves. And then that's what's probably what people have done. Darry has gone on to accept the medium compound tyres from his soft, so he will have to pit again later on. I assume he's got another set of softs in his back pocket to pit onto for the final, I would say, few laps of the race, maybe. He's probably going to hope for a late safety car as well. And for seeing, I think Brent's made up another position. He's just got past the alternate strategy leader of J. Cole up into 10th place. He's on a really good shot for some great points in this race. Don't forget, Rally is the last point scorer, but looks like J. Cole was going to fight back. And also Harry is trying to defend from Funky Chicken once again, and maybe Brent to head towards turn 1. DRS is activated, don't forget. A lap ago, we got a yellow flag. That is another Alfa Romeo. That is Peter once again. His days are unfortunately numbered in this league so far. Not the start you would have hoped. And Harry's dropping down positions too, with Brent looking very, very racy right now. Harry's just gone a little bit wide there, but he's able to recover. And Brent almost got the move, but couldn't quite get it done. But I have to say, Brent looks like he's on the sauce with the pace he's showing right now.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying up from 17th on the grid into 10th, has passed all the medium runners around him. So what a start from the AlphaTauri driver. Peter has unfortunately retired in the pits and left the session, so I think he's pretty much given up on that race completely, which is fair to say after 2 spins already at the back of the field. Meanwhile, there's so much going on in all of that action in the midfield, we completely missed it. Carwin Robb has passed Tin Can for the lead of this race, so the Alpine is now up into first position. Tin Can drops into second, and these two have dropped the rest of the soft runners. B. Morgan currently running in third. By the way, B. Morgan and YHYY, the 2 highest placed reserves in this race so far. B. Morgan in third, YHYY in fifth. Recuric sandwiched in the middle of those two in the Haas car. We're coming on to lap 5 of this race. It feels like this race has been going on for so long, considering the amount of action that's happened. And Forza Brendan has spun yet again through turn 12, but this time around the cars ended up in the barriers. So Brendan, he is over and done with in this race. The Division 4 champion having a horrendous start to the season. And now look at this, Harry Noir losing another 2 places down the straight. Brent passed and he lets his teammate go as well. So Harry Noir not only struggling on those softs, just seems like Harry Noir is incredibly slow in a straight line.
Yeah, he must be very, very good in qualifying, but not that good in the race as well. And I'm a bit worried that Rally's going to get past him as well. So Harry will probably need to think on his feet. Maybe the undercut will be best for him, which will be in about a few laps' time when he could go onto those fresh hards, and maybe that will get back into this race somehow. But I don't know why he's struggling too much. Maybe Division 3 is maybe quite hard for him, but don't forget, it's still the first race of the season. Plenty of opportunities, and I'm sure Harry will be a lot better in some other tracks as well, because some tracks are known as an ABS type of track, which are suited to ABS users. This track is one of them in Bahrain, of course, so we are strongly, I think, seeing the people with assists near the front and people that try and no assist near the back potentially, but we're still seeing people with no assist near the front too, so quite a bit of a mixture at this moment. But I think Brendan's teammate is doing a pretty decent job in 5th place. He's going to try and overtake the Haas driver of Rick Urich in 4th position, but B. Morgan, he's also struggling on those soft tyres because he's got the Haas driver right behind him on his gearbox, and he's got a brilliant straight line speed heading towards turn 1. We've got B. Morgan that has to go defensive, and he did not challenge that move whatsoever going into turn 1, so the Haas driver has got further, but how much longer? Maybe B. Morgan wants a DRS. We've got Y, who's looking good up front as well. Maybe he could get both of them and get a double overtake. B. Morgan with the switchback then, with a DRS. Can he make this stick into turn 4? Oh, it's going to be ever so close. It's a similar move to we saw what Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen did with about the last few laps of the Grand Prix. B. Morgan has got that position back. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely what he needed there. And you can't go too close for comfort as the Haas driver has hit the back of B. Morgan. Hopefully no damage there. But the one that's looking very, very good is Y. His tyre management is absolutely perfect. His ERS is on 91% too. So I don't know what he's doing and why he's not using his overtake so much. But I'm guessing he's waiting for the right opportunity to use it. I think same with Luke, but he's got less CRS. So this is a 4-car train for, I would say, 3rd position on this race for a shot of the podium. And this is incredible stuff between these guys. But there's maybe a ding-dong battle between the Alfa Romeo and the Haas driver. But if they keep doing that, the Red Bull driver and the Ferrari driver will be saying, hang on a minute, let me get past these two drivers. So they've got to get a move on ASAP, really.
Yeah, you can definitely tell at this point in the race, Rick Y, Luke, and possibly Black Poma as well, could be going a lot faster than they are. B. Morgan is already derating down the pit straight. He's used up so much ERS in these opening laps. Here comes Rick. He's not using any of his, but because B. Morgan is derating, his car is just so slow in a straight line, and Rick can go back down the inside for turn 1. This time around, there's a little bit of contact. YY is trying a different line through turn 2, maybe to get a better run. B. Morgan's on the DRS once again, but he's got no ERS to attack with. So despite having the DRS, barely closed in on Rick in front. So this time around, Rick looks like he's got that move done this time. He's up into 3rd place, but he's already 4 seconds behind the battle for the lead. XL Tinkan's gone back ahead of Carwin Robb for the lead of this race. Rick then up into 3rd, and in all of that, Black Poma has pitted from 7th place. He's gone in on the end of lap 6 for a set of medium compound tyres, which to me suggests that he's going for a 2-stop strategy.
Yeah, well, I think so as well, potential. Maybe the 1-stop, as some people see to believe, as I think a few people would try that in Division 1, but you never know. I do say people would probably go for a 2-stop strategy, but then they prove us wrong and do a 1-stop. So luckily we're not the strategists. There are strategists in the drivers themselves. They'll probably think of their own strategy, but we're the commentators. We will do all the action, but it's a good idea for us to know ideally when they're going to pit. But I would say lap 7 is probably too early, but don't be surprised if people pit roughly about now, as Carwin actually does, all right, on cue. So he's going to go on to the hard compounded tyres. That's the only realistic option right now to go on to. And he's going to push massively. Mediums. 2-stop, wow. I would say. That is a huge gamble. I thought he would go on hards, but there's no way those mediums will go to the end unless there's a safety car. So, yeah, 2-stop definitely for the Alpine driver. Will it pay off for him? We'll find out very soon. And I'm almost certain that this will probably trigger off the pit stops for everybody else wanting to go in for that possibly potential 2-stop strategy.
It is possible that he could be doing a 1-stop, but he is going to have to nurse those medium tyres very, very quickly. He's going to have to start lesson them pretty much from now onwards. We've got a spinner. B. Morgan is the first one to spin at turn 7. He's managed to go off the road. He's kept it at the barriers by the looks of things. He's got no visible damage. Oh, and rejoins right into the side of J. Cole. Just gets away with it, but that was a very sketchy rejoin from B. Morgan. But from 2nd place at that time, he has dropped now down into 8th place. We're just seeing drivers as the softs get to the end of their window go. Drivers just losing grip so quickly, and B Morgan's another one that has gone off. Harry Nawaga's also pitted, by the way. He's gone for the hard compound tyres as Chill, thinking about a move on Raleigh, was so late on the brakes that he nearly ran straight into the back of the Williams. So stuck in a Williams sandwich at the moment, and Noah right behind Chill got very close to the back of the Aston Martin, lost the rear of the car, somehow held it, and is still going in 11th place. That was a lucky escape for Noah through turn 12, but so many drivers at this point in the race are just on edge. They can't really seem to keep the car on the road, and interestingly, none of the soft runners choosing to react to that pit stop from Carwin Robb, so they're staying out at least for another lap.
Yeah, I guess they want to go for the softer hard strategy, which is common, and we see, I think, B Morgan being pressured by Raleigh and the Alfa Romeo of Chill, almost touching a little bit between Chill and the Alfa Romeo driver, Aston Martin. Obviously, new car to the game this season. A lot of drivers wanted it, but only 2 drivers could get it, and Chill being one of them got first choice. So let's see, Chill makes a great move into turn 4 on those medium tyres. You can almost definitely see that the softs are definitely almost past their sell-by date at the moment. The crossover point is now. So if I were them, maybe thinking about boxing in the next couple of laps, because the mediums are definitely the faster tyre, but B Morgan's definitely going to try for a move anyway. Noah spun in turn 7 again. Yeah, turn 7. That is... I did say watch out for turn 7, and boy, I was right there. And Noah's dropped down into 15th place, the last driver who started on the mediums, which is not where he wants to be right now. I'm seeing which other medium drivers are looking good. Brent not catching up to Funky Chicken right now, but he's got some clear air in front of him, but behind him he's got Chasing Jayco in a Mercedes who's looking very, very quick right now. We don't know who's going to be winning this race and who's going to pit when. So lap 10 is where I expect the top 5 to pit, maybe end of lap 9 I would say, for the top 5. Let's see what they can do. Tin Can stays out, Ricky stays out, Rye stays out, but we got Rikurik in the pit and Funky Chicken. So the last 2 from that soft group, apart from B Morgan, then has decided to go into the pits. B Morgan also pitting, so the front 3 are not budging, Aidan.
Yeah, they're not moving at the moment. They're choosing not to react as Carwin Robb does a 28.6. That's a brilliant lap time from the Alpine man. But he is going to have to push like mad if he's on a 2-stop. He has got a lot of ground to make up. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That is Noah, who's retired in the pit lane. Yeah, unfortunate to see. That is our 3rd retirement from this evening. 2 in the pit lane. Forza Brendan from a spin in turn 12. J. Cole has passed Brent, so he's now the lead medium runner on the track. What you were saying, though, earlier on about a possible Chill win from last on the grid, it's not out of the question yet. He's up to 6th place. He's the 3rd man on these medium compound tyres now, that 3rd man on that alternate strategy. And you've got to say, Brent and Jacob, if they go for the softs later on, they are in a race at the moment with White YY and Luke a bit further up the road. They'll be on the better tyres later on in the race. They'll have more speed. They could be on for a podium challenge. Till's right in there as well. And of course, can't count out either Trent or Raleigh or Tiorg, actually. All the medium runners pretty much in a line following one another. So they're doing a pretty sterling job at the moment. These 6 cars all keeping well with one another. Of course, Raleigh, one of the championship protagonists from Division 3 last season, maybe wasn't the fastest, but you can always rely on him to keep out of trouble and keep it on the road. And finally, into the pit lane is our race leader, Tin Can, at the end of lap 10. White YY's in. Luke has to stay out for another lap because his teammate's in. So Luke going on to lap 11 on those soft compound tyres, extending even further, which definitely suggests he's going for the medium compound tyres. Tin Can has put the medium tyres on. White YY has gone for the hards, interestingly. So White YY's gone for something a little bit different. Tin Can coming out of the pit lane. Carwin Robb's already gone past. Tin Can out of the pit lane. You've got to say, though, if Carwin Robb is going for that 2-stop strategy, he's not built up enough of a lead. Only 4 seconds so far. He's going to have to build at least another 10 on top of that in these next few laps to make that 2-stop strategy work.
There are some predictions in chat that Carwin potentially is going for the 1-stop, that the tyres may have lasted longer than what the games predicted, but we don't know on this game because obviously there's quite different things with the strategy as we're trying to learn and adapt, as we got the Haas driver that's got past the Red Bull driver of YHY for 12th position on the track. So at the moment, he is the leading runner on the hards at least as well. And yeah, I'm almost certain Tin Can will get those mediums to the end there, but the hards are more durable tyres, so watch out for the hard tyre runners of the Haas driver towards the end of the race as Karen's fresh tyres coming to fruition now as he gets past JSD on the hards. Expect JSD to pit around about lap 20 for the soft, and then expect, I think, lap 18 if they want to go for the soft tyres, which is doable for the medium compounded tyres. And the other Haas driver looking good past Trench right now as well, but it's really hard for some of these drivers to overtake one another. Luke goes into the pits then, the last of the soft runners to pit, but unfortunately you cannot double stack. Tin Can, his teammate, is going through turn 15 now. Let's see what he could do. I think he's going to be ahead of his teammate anyway. I think Luke's going to drop way down the order due to the fact that the teammates were so close to each other. It's very unfortunate on this game, but it just goes to show that they're quite even on pace right now, the Ferrari drivers. Where does Luke come out? He's going to be in massive traffic right now. He's caught up with the Y versus Ricky battle versus Funky Chicken battle, and he could potentially get these drivers as they're on different strategies. Let's see what Luke can do now. Luke has the DRS, so does Funky Chicken. Luke has to go on the attack on the left, heading towards turn 4. Beautiful move from him, but it looks like Funky Chicken is going to try and go for the switch back into 5 and 6. No, not quite. Luke has it. There we go.
Brilliant move. That's a textbook move from Luke around the outside of turn 4. Brilliant stuff. Set that up coming out of turn 2 nicely. And he's up into 13th place. And crucially for him, the 2 cars in front of him on that hard compound tyre. Luke needs to clear these 2 as quickly as he can and get up the road if he wants to secure a place. Possibly fighting for the podium here is Luke with his teammates. So he'll be needing to get as far away from the hard runners as he can. He doesn't want to get stuck behind them. We're on to lap 12, coming up to lap 13. In this race, it is J. Cole that leads the way on that alternate strategy. He is the lead driver who has yet to make a pit stop, but Brent is right behind him. Chill is right behind him as well, and Raleigh in 4th place. I don't know if it's a timing glitch on my end or not. I don't know if he's dropped out of DRS range. No, he just got DRS on that lap, so he's lucky to get away with it. But it's very close to these medium runners at the front. Brent sticking to the back of J. Cole like glue, but just choosing not to go for the move into turn 1, maybe thinking that if he does start battling with J. Cole, it's going to lose him time overall when he doesn't want to waste time battling J. Cole when his fight is maybe a little bit later on with the likes of Rikurik and YHYY. And speaking of those two, they're side by side once again coming into turn 1. YHYY is going to get the move on the inside. Rikurik hung out to dry. Luke's going to get the switch back here on the exit of the corner. He's going to do possibly the same as what it is to Funky Chicken, but he's going to get the inside line, and Rikurik didn't have the DRS interestingly, so he had nothing to fight with. Luke a little bit late on the brakes, so that's going to allow Rikurik to do the switch back, but Luke just gets better drive out the corner. 2 corners, well, 2 laps, 2 times through turn 4, 2 moves made for Luke. He's up another position, he's up to 12th, and now he's got a clear run at YHYY for 11th.
Brilliant stuff from Luke so far, and don't forget the delta between the mediums and the hards is around about 5/10 of a second per lap, so Luke is a lot quicker than the likes of YHYY and Rikurik, so it is to be expected. So Luke really wants to get past YHYY as soon as possible, really, because otherwise he's going to get caught in the dirty air. And don't forget, there are hotter track temperatures in Bahrain, of course, because we are in the desert. They're not expecting rain because there's no rain on this game on Bahrain. I kind of wish there was, but it's unrealistic otherwise as they pass turn 13. So let's see what Luke could do then heading towards the final few corners. Brent, one of the medium runners, has pulled the trigger. He's the first one to pull the trigger out the medium runners then into the pits then. He's not going on the soft side, don't think. He's going onto the hards, I believe. So let's see. Yes, he does. There is no possible outcome, really, to be honest. We saw GSD trying to go defensive from XL Tin Can, did that perfectly. But look at Luke. He's got to get the move nicely, and he did into turn 1. He's now up into 10th place, 2 points better than I would say Rikurik at the moment. Don't forget the top 12 do get points this season instead of the top 10. So he will be getting points in regular Formula 1 as well as LOE. So that is great to see from him. Still a definite contender potentially for that race victory if he could keep this up, and definitely one of the favourites so far. But we've still got the likes of Chill, who's just got past J. Cole, so he's in the lead. And I wonder who's going to blink first. J. Cole looking very, very good behind Chill. It's going to be very, very tight. I'm going to predict if Chill doesn't get the win, Chill's going to be on for some decent points if he can keep a car in the straight line.
Yeah, oh, as you say that, a big wobble through turn 12 for Chill. He just gets away with it. Nearly J. Cole running straight into the back of him, but J. Cole right behind the Aston Martin, who's slow down the back straight. You can see Chill really holding J. Cole up in the run to turn 14, but J. Cole doesn't want to make the move into that corner because you lose so much time down the straight, and you could possibly lose DRS in the process as well. But coming out of the final corner, I would not be surprised if you see J. Cole breeze past Chill here. He's got less ERS though than the Aston Martin, but J. Cole down the inside line. Nothing Chill can really do to defend that one. J. Cole up the inside, but that does now give Chill a run up towards turn 4, and J. Cole a bit deep on the brakes into turn 1. Luke sets the fastest lap of the race on that lap. A brilliant lap time from him. Chill to the inside for turn 4. Jacob's going to try and keep him tight to the apex, make him take a shallow line into the corner so that he can try and go around the outside. Just hasn't got the grip to pull it off, and Chill's going to go back into the lead of this race. Jacob tried to hang it around the outside of 6. There wasn't really the room to do so. He's dropped back down into second place, but these two fighting has allowed Raleigh and Trent to close right back in, as well as Teog as well. And Carwin Rob is already right to the back of these guys. If Carwin Rob and Tinkan are going to the end of the race, we assume Tinkan is. Not sure about Carwin Rob, it's on the bubble, but he could go to the end. If they are, they're pretty much already a pit stop ahead of those on the alternate strategy.
That is insane for Tinkan, especially who pitted 3 laps to go. So I think Tinkan, I would say, don't be surprised if it might be a Ferrari 1-2 at the end of this race. That would be brilliant for the Constructors' Championship if they could keep it like that. So Luke has got to do his side of the deal with Tinkan lead, pretty much the net race leader so far. If Carwin has yet to make another pit stop, unless he wants to go to the end of the race too. But yeah, Carwin has got to make the move of dreams if he wants to get past these drivers, which is easier said than done. But he's probably not going to challenge too much because he knows these drivers are going to pit, but he doesn't want to get caught in traffic, so it's going to be a rock and a hard place for these drivers to see if they want to try and let him through. I don't know what I'll be doing in this situation as well. Jayco, I believe, wants a DRS from Chill, but I don't think he's not that close enough. We'll see with the ERS. He's on 11% ERS, Aiden, so not very good at all. Chill on a lot better ERS compared to Jayco, 37%. So his ERS is managing brilliantly. He's got a lot of deployment limit as well and using a lot of energy so far. And meanwhile, we just seen the Haas car, who is on fresher, older mediums, as defending from the one on fresher mediums. Carwin goes round the outside into turn 7 and 8. Let's see what he could do. This Haas driver is definitely giving the Alpine driver the run for the money, but Carwin is up into 5th place, but his tyres is not going to last the whole race, so he's got to try and do a little bit of lifting and coasting to make sure it doesn't puncture, because we did see in LOE last season a few drivers get a puncture, and we don't want any of these drivers to get the puncture, but it's the first race, so they are still learning. Of course, we do have a DNF, and that is from Harry. So he's out of the race. Safety car? No, it's VSC, but we did see it turn to a safety car before. Or is it going to stay at VSC? It is going to stay at VSC. So there we go. Will we see Chill and Jayco take that advantage and go into the pits? I'm almost certain it's a no-brainer. Yeah, he goes into the pits. Jayco, yeah. Raleigh, yeah. Trent, yeah. Not surprised.
Carwin Rob then's going to retake the lead of this race. We're still under virtual safety car. Of course, that'll put Tinkan up into second. He'll put Black Poma up into 3rd place, but he is being caught rapidly by Luke on these previous laps. One person this is massively hindered is Brent. Brent pitted just a couple of laps ago for the set of the hards, and all of his rivals have come in under the virtual safety car, and they're all on soft. So Brent, who would have been ahead of this queue of cars, is going to rejoin right where he was in that queue of cars on a much harder set of tyres. So that is really played horribly for Brent, who had just set a 28 flat on the hards. That is a stunning lap time on the hard compound tyres, but unfortunately that virtual safety car has come out at the complete wrong time for him. Till then will be the leader of those on the soft compound tyres. He will be in 8th position once this virtual safety car gets going again. It's a long old virtual safety car, this one should be ending fairly soon. We'll see when it does come to an end. Till in 8th though, realistically, gotta say we could see him possibly up into 3rd place, because it is really not that far to Black Poma. You maybe gotta say, if Carwin Rob is going to the end, Carwin Rob and Tinkan look a little bit out of reach.
Yeah, I think they're running a league of their own, the top two, so Chill chance for a race win is probably out the window, but probably he wasn't expecting it anyway. So for P8 at the moment on the soft tyres, this virtual safety car has probably saved him at the moment, and if he wants to get past, the softs and the mediums is only a second a lap difference faster. So for Chill, he's first of all got to, I think he's going to get past Funky Chicken, probably Ricky, then Wide, then Luke, and that's probably it, and then maybe back Roma. But the other drivers, it's going to be a lot harder. So yeah, I definitely agree that Chill's aim at the moment is to get that podium spot, which will still be incredible. Decent amount of points, even with that horrible qualifying, and it just goes to show, like we said earlier, qualifying is not really as important around Bahrain than the last game, and ideally you either want to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd or 4th, or you want to be 11th, 12th or 13th if you're anywhere else, then the chances of a win or a podium is probably next to nothing right now.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it is not really as important to be right up at the front in qualifying. We're just looking here, Raleigh trying to get a move done on B. Morgan, who's on those older medium tyres, just can't find a way through at the moment. This is the battle over 11th place in this race. Trent's just behind, just outside of the points as it stands. Teal'c pitted onto the hards under that virtual safety car, so he's lost a bit of pace a bit further down. Behind Teal'c, we've got JSD running on the mediums now, and Darry runs in 16th place after a spin on lap 2. He is still going, which is good to see. Unlike some of the other drivers who've had problems in this race, Darry is still going in 16th position, so that is at least nice to see, hoping maybe for a late safety car or for a few more retirements. So coming up to start lap 19, 11 laps to go when we cross the line. Carwin Robb leads, but remember, he pitted 3 laps earlier than Tin Can did, and Tin Can on much fresher mediums has got that gap down to what was 4.5, down to 1.6 since they've come out of the pit lane. So he is definitely the faster man at the moment. Black Puma's got to be the cork in the bottle in 3rd position on those older medium tyres. Luke just behind, but Luke not quite in DRS range just yet. Gotta say though, since Luke has passed YHYY has done a very solid job at holding on to the back of the Ferrari.
Yeah, and I think it's important that if you want a harder strategy compared to everybody else, it's very important that you've got to try and defend for your life, because ideally you should not really be ahead of the drivers that are on soft tyres, but if you can hold them up, like we saw Lewis Hamilton do in Monaco many years ago, then to be honest, you're a really good driver and a very good defender. So that is what these 2 high runners are going to do. If I were them, probably working together to try and close up to Luke and try and build a gap to the ones behind, like Funky Chicken and Chill, and that would be absolutely perfect. But Funky Chicken you could probably keep behind because the hards are more durable tyre, but for Chill, probably a little bit more difficult. And this DRS train is going bigger and bigger at the moment, so Chill is going to find it hard. What's happening to Chill? Nope, it's Funky Chicken letting Chill through. I think team orders are there in the Aston Martin garage right now because Funky Chicken is on the mediums, whereas Chill is on 1 lap old soft. So Funky Chicken putting the team first before himself, which is good news, and knowing that Funky Chicken would not be able to get past any of these drivers anyway on those mediums. So it's all up to Chill now to do the stuff for the Aston Martin team right now into 7th place now, and he's going to try and get past the guys from Recurric, YHYY and Luke. Meanwhile, Luke is looking very good for a podium then. Black is not challenging at all into turn 1, and Luke dives round the inside past the McLaren driver. I wonder if Black wants a DRS. We will see a little bit of sparks flying from the cars. Black, I think, is a little bit further back, but we'll see with the DRS as well. Nope, he can't get past. So Luke up into 3rd, and the podium is inside. Chill tries to get past Recurric. He does. Excellent stuff. The only one out of the softs that are managing to get past these harder runners and medium runners at the moment. These other soft runners seem to be struggling.
Yeah, at the moment, just haven't seemed to got the pace. J. Cole is somewhat keeping up, but he's not caught up to this back of this queue as quickly. They have dropped the rest of the soft runners completely at this point, haven't they? Trench 3 seconds back now. Raleigh just behind him. B. Morgan's just had a spin as well when he's lost his front wing completely. So B. Morgan's race has gone from bad to worse to utterly horrible now. He'll drop to the back of the field. Darry had just spun on the previous lap as well, but he didn't pick up any damage, so he is continuing on. Last person in the points at the moment is Brent on those hard compound tyres. What a shame for Brent. That is such an unlucky timing for that virtual safety car for him. Of course, the hard compound tyres will last nicely to the end, so we could capitalise on some of the soft runners losing pace. And to be fair to Brent, he's keeping up nicely with the back of Raleigh.
Carmen's in the pits.
He is. Wow, okay, so race leader then into the pit lane, doing that 2-slot strategy. Black Puma's in as well. This is a very, very odd strategy, I think I've got to say, from Carwin Robb. Was in the lead of this race. He's going to come out of the pit lane in 11th place. He is so far down the field on a set of softs compound tyres. Make that 12th actually as Teal goes past. He's down in 12th with only 1 point up for grabs, with soft runners in front.
Sorry.
Was he going for the move?
He was going to go for the move, but why? Defended that quite nicely there as well. And did I say we have a Ferrari 1-2 on the cars? Because this could possibly happen, you know. The Ferrari strategy is working wonders today at the moment, but we know Chill is challenging for that potential P3. He's got the cusp of getting P2 right now with 2 of his main rivals out of the picture now, but we'll see if those softs can make it to the end. All's a bit of a slide from Chill there, but he's looking so much more faster. He's using his ERS as well, but yeah, Karen, I think, could not get the memes to a good temperature, but we'll see if he can get as many points as he can. It's going to be a lot harder for, I would say, Karen than the other soft runners, I have to say, but Chill making the most out of this situation at the moment, and we were right in saying the two-stop strategy is more feasible. There's no way Karen would have got to the end with those medium tires. It was just impossible. He would have been punctured at the moment, so there we go. We'll keep an eye on Chill, YHYY and Luke as they head towards on lap 23, actually lap 22 as Tin Can starts lap 22. Here comes Chill then. This is really where he's got to get the move done. He didn't get the move last lap. Can he get the move done this lap? He goes onto the right-hand side there. Perfect line from him. But YHYY is going to get the DRS. Chill, I believe, also gets the DRS. So he could get Luke on this next corner. 3/10 of a second. He's going to go for a launch. Oh, lay on the brakes there from Chill. That was very close. Chill almost gave me a heart attack. And whilst we were watching Chill, J. Cole, the other soft runner, has got past the Haas driver. So he's making inroads at the moment as well. So J. Cole is managing to probably save a few laps ago, but he's definitely pushing now. So maybe he's on a different strategy to what Chill is at the moment. But Chill on the podium position. He could be on course for P2.
Yeah, at the moment doing a brilliant job. I think Luke here might be easy meat. Maybe not down this straight, but maybe down the pit straight at least. But actually Chill was going to go for it here into turn 11 down the inside line. Luke choosing not to defend it. I think he knows there's not really much he can do. And Chill up into second place from last on the grid. What a race it's been for Chill so far. Up into second, you can see Luke just understeering in the dirty air of the Aston Martin, not able to keep close enough to the back of him. Rekurik on those hards starting to plummet just a little bit now. YHYY's looks more comfortable on those hards, you've got to say, since they've come out of the pit lane. Where is Karen Wobb? Karen Wobb is 3 seconds behind Brent. Karen Wobb at the moment here is going to struggle to get anywhere deep inside the top 10 with this strategy, considering the fact that he was second on the grid and leading the race for the majority of the soft stint. That is not what he would have wanted at all. As J. Cole now on Funky Chicken in towards turn 1. He's got the inside line. He's got the move done. J. Cole, though, derating quite a lot already. So is going to get the run back at him up towards turn 4. J. Cole doesn't have the DRS, but I don't think Funky Chicken is close enough unless he sends it on the brakes, which he will not do. J. Cole then holds 5th place. Funky Chicken down to 6th position, and the only ones on the soft compound tyres making headway are Chill and J. Cole at the moment. Chill 2nd, J. Cole 5th, Trent still stuck down in 8th place.
Not the race that he would have been for him, but still that is valuable points. But I'm sure Trent would have wanted to aim for even higher as well. But there is still a possibility for a late safety car, so Trent is going to hope for that as well. So I'm just looking at the delta between the softs and the memes and how many laps to go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 6 laps to go. If Chill keeps up this pace for the next 6 laps, he would gain 5, 6 seconds. It's going to be tight. I don't think he's going to get the win, unfortunately, but that's going to be a good buffer if Tin Can gets a penalty. So Chill's going to hope that a miracle happens for Tin Can to get a penalty potentially, but it may not be. So probably just going to save a little bit, because I was not expecting Chill to be this high up, but when he told me that he won from last on the grid before, that I had to get my bold prediction somehow. Somehow my bold prediction has worked this week, and if I do fill in for LOE another week, probably my other bold prediction will probably be wrong. So, but at least I know Chill and what he's capable of, so at least he's doing quite well so far. But these softs, they're not going to last a duration. Those memes, those hards are definitely going to come out on his own. So watch out for YHYY towards the end of this race, because he could be on for P3 or P2 at this rate as well.
Yeah, he definitely could come back at these guys. I think Chill's going to be wanting you in the commentary box every week if it goes this well for him so far from second. What it could have been if he hadn't crashed in qualifying. Unfortunately, he's had searing pace through this race, but Tin Can out with a comfortable lead at this point of 7.5 seconds. It is going to take, like you say, a penalty maybe from Tin Can to give Chill a chance at this race victory. You would maybe look at this if you haven't looked at the rest of the race and think that Tin Can has just walked away with this one. It's not been the case. Tin Can's not really led a lot of this race. It was Karen Wobb leading the way, but Karen Wobb, interestingly, on a 2-stop strategy, he's now down to 11th place and has caught the back of a queue of cars queuing up behind Funky Chicken, who on the medium compound tyres is not looking too favourable at the moment, and he's the only one inside the points at the moment with a time penalty. So really struggling in that 6th position is Funky Chicken in the Aston Martin. Rikurik will be the first car up behind him, but Trench and Raleigh on the softs are looking like they want to get past Rikurik as quickly as they possibly can to have a run at getting 6th on the road. They've got on board with Trench down the pit straight, both him and Rikurik derating. Not really a lot of straight line speed to gain for Trench, but is he going to send it late on the brakes? He doesn't think about it, but he's not close enough. Rikurik a little bit deep on the brakes into turn 1, but I don't think that's going to give Trench an opportunity up towards turn 4. He's just going to have to sit and wait behind for the time being. Raleigh right behind as well, not close enough either. Carwin Robb has managed to get past Brent and up into 10th place, so he's looking to gain a few more places to get further up. 6th could be on the cards for Carwin Robb. But what it could have been for Carwin Robb if he stayed out a few laps later on his softs and did the one-stop strategy, could have been a win for Carwin Robb today.
Yeah, it could have been, but to be honest, he probably has a much better chance in USA as well, and he's probably learnt his lesson potentially as well, but it is only the first race for him. He's learning some strategies, and when we go to Bahrain maybe next season, if there is a Bahrain next season, he'll probably try on a different strategy and see what is best for him, but he's making up inroads at least, and he's really good on those soft tyres. I think matching the pace of Chill and J-Car as well, so he could potentially get past some of these guys as well. And potentially, I would say P6 is realistically the place he could get, because Funky Chicken does have that time penalty. Carwin then, he's looking very good, heading towards turn 14 now to try and get past Raleigh. He's not going to get past in this corner, but maybe towards turn 1. We do have a yellow flag. That is McLaren. That's either Black Prima or Darry. That is Darry in towards turn 7.
Yeah, Darry for his 3rd spin in this race. Unfortunately, Carwin Robb now tucked right up behind Raleigh into turn 1. Is he going to think about a move? Down the inside, he's really late on the brakes. Got to make sure he doesn't collide with his teammate, who leaves him the space on the inside. But Carwin Robb has got to the outside line for turn 2. He gets a bit better traction than Raleigh, and Raleigh can't fight it. Carwin Robb is up into 9th place. I would imagine Trench isn't going to put too much of a fight up against his teammate. We might see some team orders just like we saw from Aston Martin earlier on in this race. Carwin Robb looking down the inside, and Trench does move out the way. He backs out of it. A very weird place to do it, but Trench backs out of it without being under pressure from Raleigh behind. So Carwin Robb up into 8th. He's got Rikurik and Funky Chicken right in front, and Funky Chicken is all over the road. Those medium compound tyres on that Aston Martin are crying enough. He just can't seem to keep the car facing in the right direction in the traction zones. Rikurik is tucked right up behind him, but look at Carwin Robb with the speed he's got. He's having a run at Rikurik into 11. I don't think it's going to be close enough. He maybe had a look around the outside in towards the corner. Just doesn't quite have the momentum. He's thinking about a move at turn 12.
What?
This is going to be bold if he can hold this around the outside, but Rikurik has the better line through the corner. It almost worked for Carwin Robb. He just couldn't quite get it. That would have been a stellar move. He is going to think about it though into the last corner. He just doesn't have the ERS to pull alongside the Haas into that last corner, so Carwin Robb's going to sit behind, but we could be seeing Funky Chicken losing a few places down the straight. But look at the run the Alpine gets out of that final corner. Those soft compound tyres looking very strong on that Alpine, but Rikurik getting the toe of Funky Chicken. Funky Chicken derating. He hasn't got anything in defence. Carwin Robb maybe thinking about the pair of them. He's going to look to the inside line on Funky Chicken. Funky Chicken's going to hold it for turn 2, but Carwin Robb thinking about the outside line. He gets forced onto the curb. That was always going to be risky to try and hold it around the outside of 2. Carwin Robb there, maybe a little bit too kind into turn 1. Could have gone for the dive, thought better of it, and stays in 8th place.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gaps near the front, Aidan, and Luke has caught up to around about 7 tenths, so maybe Chill's softs are starting to die a little bit quicker than intended, maybe because he was pushing too much at the start of his soft stint, so Chill really needs to buckle up and try and get past, as we got a yellow flag. That is Brent, turn 7, 8 again. That has caught a lot of drivers tonight, and he almost took a few people out in the process, and what could have been for that person who was doing ever so well before that VSC has happened, but he's got to live with it and try and see if he can salvage out the last point. But he's got a very charging Ecos driver of Tijo really starting to put up the hammer and really start to push, and I know that driver is quicker than Brent, so it's probably going to be easy pickings for the Haas driver compared to the AlphaTauri driver, and you wouldn't want to miss out on points by 1 place. So Brent really needs to push. It kind of reminds me of George Russell and Fernando Alonso in Austria, where George Russell was fighting for the last point but just missed out on Fernando Alonso. This is the battle that we're seeing here, because this could be their first point of the season. Meanwhile, Carwin Robb gets past Rikurik very comfortably actually on those serve stops up into P6, and I do believe that Haas driver has got past Brent. Yes, he does. So Brent, unfortunately, is going to be missing out on his first point this season, which would have been very good momentum on lap 28 of 29. Could Luke get a 1-2 for the Ferrari boys? It's not impossible, and he's looking like the mediums are a much doable tyre, but even then, the mediums up there sell by date as well. So I think the most comfortable driver out of the top four, I would say, in terms of tyre life, is YHYY in fourth position. Those tyres can make 18 laps.
Yeah, he's looking really strong, and that Red Bull tucked right up behind the Ferrari in front. You can definitely tell Chill is struggling on those soft compound tyres now. He's got good speed still, but he just can't quite keep up with it, as we've got B Morgan that's gone for another spin. What a horror show it's been for the Alfa Romeos today. They've had an absolutely disastrous night here tonight. We're coming up to the final lap of the race. We've barely seen him all race, but Tin Can comes round the final corners to start the final lap of the Bahrain GP in the first round of the season. But we've got to look to his teammate Luke. Is he close enough to have a run here? Chill's D-rating already down the straight. Luke is going to be in the slipstream. Chill right to the pit lane. Luke around the outside for turn one. Nothing Chill can do. Luke breezes past into turn one. Can Chill get a run down towards turn four? Can he get the grip out of turn two? I don't think he can. He didn't get the best of the runs out of the corner. Luke is D-rating, but so is Chill. What is that DRS looking like? It's not powerful enough. I think Luke may have got this one done. He just needs to keep it on the road now. Chill, unfortunately, the softs have just died a little bit too early for him. Obviously, pitting early under that virtual safety car has meant the softs have burnt off just that little bit too much, and Chill is going to possibly lose out on second here. But what a debut race it will be for Ferrari. This has been a stunning night for the Ferrari pair, and they have got off to the perfect start in this championship. Further down the field, Karin Robb is up to 6th. He passed Rukurik, but he's nowhere near close enough to challenge in the top 5. What a day it could have been for him as well, just on the wrong strategy. Chill down towards turn 11 on the DRS, but again, not close enough. So let's ride with Tin Can as he comes through turn 13 for the final time. He's going to lap Dari, who was at the front of the field in the early stages of this race. Tin Can down towards turn 14 for the final time. It's been a fairly easy race from the midpoint onwards from him. He had a great battle with Karin Robb earlier on, but ever since that pit stop, it's never looked in doubt. Tin Can is going to pick up the first win of the season and his first win in LOE F1 for a long time, and Luke is going to make it a Ferrari 1-2. What a drive from both of the Ferraris. Chill, though, from 20th on the grid, is going to get a podium. What a result from the Aston Martin man as well. YHYY on the hards couldn't quite get Chill in the end, but he will get 4th position further down the field as they come to the line. The two AlphaTauris battling over 13th. Brent wins out in that battle in the end. But my, oh my, what an opening race to the season that was. And like I said, ever since the midpoint of the race, it never really looked in doubt for Tin Can, did it? And his teammate Luke did all the job he needed to do to finish second.
Whoever did the predictions on the LOE social that Tin Can was going to do well, they're probably smiling watching the stream right now, or watching the stream back, because Tin Can played it perfectly, and Luke as well with the more durable tyre. I was predicting Luke was going to get past Chill, and he did what he needed to do, and maximum points for Ferrari, P1 and P2. You couldn't have dreamed about a start, and I'm sure Matteo Bonotto is smiling from ear to ear right now in the whole Ferrari garage. It's going to be very, very exciting for them, but Chill's been given the game driver of the day, which to be expected really, but to be honest, but if you got to pull the last two podium strategy, you got to have good pace, and Chill has definitely done that. So great job from him. Great job from Tin Can and Ferrari. I think all three drivers definitely deserve to be on the podium today.
Yeah, they definitely did. They all worked very hard for that one. A very deserving podium result in the end. All of the top 5, you've got to say as well, did a sterling job in that race. So let's run you through the final finishing order for the first Division 3 race of the season. From pole, it is Tin Can who wins the race. It maybe looks like it could have been easy. It definitely was anything but that, but Tin Can picks up the first win of the season. His teammate Luke, from 9th on the grid, gets second, so a great drive through to pass all of the other people on the same strategy as him to get second place, and Chill third from the very back of the field, helped with a virtual safety car, but either way, still an amazing drive from the Aston Martin man. YHYY picks up 4th place for the reserve driver and for Red Bull, the only Red Bull to finish here tonight, so Red Bull will not be scoring any manufacturer's points because of that performance from YHYY, but a good result for him nonetheless. J. Cole from 11th on the grid gets P5. Karin Robb, what a race it could have been for him. He ends up in in 6th position. He gets the fastest lap point as well. Rikurik in 7th ahead of Trent, Raleigh, Funky Chicken, Black Poma, and Tielg rounds off the top 12, which are the point scorers. Brent just outside of that with JSD. The final finisher, B. Morgan, finishing 15th ahead of Darry, Harry Nawag, Noah, Forza Wendon, and Peter Gillis, just like the preseason races. That race was a race of attrition, a very interesting race as well. I don't know if, Jess, if you're able to invite the top 3 to the party so we can get them in for a bit of an interview. That is obviously the new feature of us starting a little bit earlier for these streams, so we can hopefully get the top 3 in for a little bit of a chat after that race if they wish to do so. So hopefully, Jess, if you could send an invite out to the top 3, that would be amazing. And while you do that, I'm going to ask you for who you think your driver of the day is today.
Well, can I pick team of the day? Because team of the day, Ferrari. Shadow of doubt, they did very, very well on different strategies, and Tin Can was just, he looked unstoppable pretty much, even if he wasn't leading the whole race. And, you know, and Luke managing to pull out some really brilliant overtakes to get where he was, because I don't believe he started in 2nd place. So, you know, I would have to say Ferrari, both Ferrari drivers, but Chill, I think, deserves an honourable mention as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I might have to put mine to Chill. I think that is a brilliant drive from the back of the field up to 3rd position as well. Could have been 2nd, but just couldn't hold on to the softs at the end. But either way, a great recovery drive from a horrendous qualifying for the Aston Martin, man. Let's try and get these guys into the party so we can have a bit of a chat with them before the next division races come at 8:10, not long to go for divisions 2 and 5. Remember, tune into those in just under half an hour's time. They are sure to be great races as well. It's been a great start to the season. I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store for us. So let's just get everyone in. Hopefully we shall get our race winner into the party fairly soon.
I've invited all the top 3 into the party.
Brilliant stuff. And there we go. We have got Tin Can in the party, which is great to see. So our race winner is in. So whilst we wait for the other 2 drivers to join the party, let's get our chat going with our race winner. XL Tin Can, it's your first win in LOE for quite a while, I've got to say. So congratulations for just to start off with. Absolutely brilliant performance from yourself. Yeah. How are you feeling after that first win in a long time?
Quite shocked, really. I know I had good pace going into the race, like from practice, but I didn't think everything would happen the way it was, because I knew how powerful DRS is and everything. So yeah, I'm really happy with the win, to be honest, by 7 seconds as well.
Yeah, really comfortable margin in the end. Obviously, the first half of the race, it didn't look that comfortable. Your closest challenger was Carr and Rob. You two kind of disappeared at the front of the field in the early phases. Were you surprised to see him pit so early on? Were you expecting him to go for a one-stop, or were you surprised that he went for that two-stop strategy?
I was expecting him to go soft hard, to be honest, when he pitted lap 7. But when I came out and I was behind him on mediums, I was like, he has to be doing a two-stop then, because I didn't think the mediums would be able to go that far. So gave me a bit. I didn't like panic as much as I thought. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant performance from you as well. I think looking down the rest of the field, obviously it's only the first race of the season, but is there anyone else's performance that stands out to you as a possible threat now? Obviously you're leading. Well, obviously only one race in, but you will be leading the championship. But is there anybody else that stands out to you as a possible threat for the rest of the season?
Quite a lot, to be honest. They all seemed very fast. Obviously, my teammate Luke in P2 and Chill from last. I think it was last anyway, from qualifying. To manage to get back to P3. It shows some serious pace. So obviously got to keep an eye out for them for the rest of the season, but hopefully it stays like this.
Yeah, fingers crossed that it does. Jess, if you've got anything you'd like to ask to our race winner.
Well, I have to say, well done for you. Perfect strategy from you this evening. Both Ferraris on the top step of the constructors with maximum points there as well. Are you going to carry that momentum into next week? And did you think you picked the right person to be your teammates? Looks like Luke had an outstanding performance doing a soft to medium strategy. Did you think he had it in him?
Yeah, I had faith in him. Yeah, so like soft to medium, I always thought was going to be quicker, and like I'm very happy I got Luke as my teammate now. Like he weren't my first choice. Like I'd asked other people, but I'm glad that they said no to me now. So I've got to go with Luke instead. So yeah, best way to start the season, really.
Everything happens for a reason, I guess. That's absolutely brilliant.
Exactly.
I think last thing for me as well, USA next week. I think I may know your stance on USA, but how are you feeling going into next week?
A lot more nervous. It's not a controller track as Bahrain is, so I'm gonna have to do a bit more practice, I think. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it either way.
Yeah, exactly, and I think we've proved tonight as well that I think the race of attrition that we saw from the pre-seasons is going to continue on for the rest of the season. So just getting to the end could reward you with a good result anyway. So congrats.
Definitely.
Yeah, so congrats on your win tonight, Tin Can, and obviously good luck for next week. Hopefully next week is just as successful for you as well. We'll wait and see what you can do. In the meantime, I'm just going to try and see if we can get Luke and Chill in the party one last time, try and get them in. I imagine Chill was probably jumping from the rooftops in that performance, so we may not be able to get him into the party. We'll just get him invited as well, just to make sure that he is into this one. So yeah, Luke should be the next one into the party, hopefully. So we'll wait and see from the second Ferrari man himself, just getting QVR Chill added to the party as well.
Yes, I don't know how Luke did soft to mediums, to be fair, because when I tried soft to mediums around this track, around Bahrain, it's an absolute nightmare. So he was very, very brave to do that. So I would like to hear on how Luke's time management was like as well. But we haven't got Luke in the party. I believe we got the third place man who started from dead last. We got Chill in the party. Chill, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great there. Talk about your race of pretty much attrition, because you started dead last. You probably wasn't expecting to win it in qualifying. And tell us about that miraculous comeback drive from last on the grid to third in the end.
Yeah, quali was a bit of a disaster, to put it lightly. But from there, it was just recovery, really. You know, the outside the top 10 strat here is really, really good. So I was pretty sure I'd get into the points at some point. But to get that high up, I needed the VSC, which helped a lot. But yeah, happy to get there. Fun coincidence, by the way. Last time you commentated on me in Bahrain, I was 20th and ended up first. So a bit of a lucky charm.
Yeah, I did say that in the stream, and I actually predicted you to win. Then you didn't quite get the win, but you got the podium, so I kind of take that to 50-50. Good enough. Yeah, I would say I'll take that as a win for me. But yeah, the moves you made at the start of the race was pretty incredible as well. Tell us how were the first few laps for you going from last, because it's not that very easy to overtake on people that are on a similar strategy as you.
No, it seemed people had really low wings around here, so I was just catching them in the corners and getting stuck in the straight, so I had to try and make a few dives, but I managed to get through in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And did you have the same strat as you planned going on the soft tyres? Because your soft were almost dying at the end there. Was it inevitable that Luke was eventually going to get past you? Because Luke was definitely pulling up a fight against you for that battle for second place.
Well, I was originally going to go softs 2 laps later, or 1 lap later, to prevent an undercut, but the VSC kind of changed that. And then by the end of softs, I couldn't do anything on them. I tried to hold on to it as long as I could, but no, it was just about holding on to the podium at the end, really.
And obviously, you're now third in the championship, but apart from obviously Tin Can, because obviously Tin Can will probably be your main rival anyway as well, who would you say is your other rivals in this championship into Division 3 this season?
You can't look past J. Cole. I mean, despite the quali, he was still up there. I mean, the Alt-Strat helped, but you know how consistent he is. He's a Deep 3 champ already, carried me to a Constructors title, so I'd expect him to be up there.
I will hand over to Aidan for the last few questions on Chill.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with you on that one for J. Cole. It was a bit of an understudy performance from him today, but either way, a great result. So, and he'll sure to shine in future races. Speaking of future races, how are you feeling about USA? We've already had from Tin Can that he's not looking too forward from it for it. How are you feeling about it?
I'm not looking forward to Sector 1. Last time I was at USA here, I got taken out from a podium position, so not great memories from here, but hopefully it can go well.
Yeah, definitely. Race of attrition and things like that. Hopefully qualifying is a bit better for you next time out. I think USA is probably a little bit harder to overtake than it is here at Bahrain, but either way, I'm sure we'll see other people spin as well. I think just a note as well from you on your teammate Funky Chicken, saw a bit of team play a little bit earlier on. I'm sure you two communicated that one. Just a quick word on your teammate in that race as well.
Well, actually, we weren't in a party together, so that was all his decision, to be honest. But you know, I respect him for that. You know, I think he understood that he wasn't really going to be able to do much staying ahead of me, and it would cost both of us really. And he did a pretty good job behind, I'm pretty sure. So, happy with that. I'll give him a nice few DMs later about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be very happy about that one. But thank you, Chill, for joining us in the party after that one. Congrats on your third place finish, and hopefully we'll see more of that from you for the rest of the season. We're going to move on to our final podium sitter and our second place finisher in Luke 05. Luke, it's a Ferrari 1-2. You got it on the final lap of the race, but a brilliant drive from yourself. How are you feeling after that first podium of the season?
I'm feeling pretty good. Probably one of my better tracks on this game, so
Yeah.
probably helped.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Obviously, Ferrari 1-2. Like I mentioned, Ferrari 1-2 from you. It was a brilliant drive from you from ninth on the grid. Obviously, qualifying maybe wasn't the best that you would have hoped for, but going for that strategy of pitting on lap 11. Obviously, maybe wanting to pit on lap 10, but your teammate was into the pit lane. Was it the plan to pit on lap 11, or were you just kind of going with the flow?
Well, I knew from practice that I could go 11 laps max.
Yeah.
So that definitely, I knew what I could do.
Yeah, having confidence in yourself and what you know to do has obviously paid dividends for you as well. You had a good old battle as well throughout that race with the likes of Rikurik and YHYY as well. Was there a bit of a worry at the end that maybe YHYY could have got you on those harder compound tyres? He was looking very strong at the end. So was that a bit of a worry for you at the end, or were you just solely focused on Chill in front?
I think if I had lost DRS to Chill, he probably would have got me. So staying in DRS was able for me to keep on the podium, and then eventually Chill's tyres went off. So
yeah, played that one beautifully. Then that was stunning stuff from you. Then Jess, have you got anything you would like to add?
Well, speaking of next tracks, we head to USA next week as well, and obviously your teammate did not like the fact that you were going to USA next week. What about you? Do you think you're going to play more the team leader role next week, or are you just going to concentrate on just getting some decent points? Because you definitely surprised yourself tonight. Will you surprise yourself next week as well?
I'm not sure. I might not be available for next week.
Boo.
But if I am, then I'm still not feeling confident. So
there we go. That's Ferraris for you. Ferraris are not confident in USA. There we go. That you heard it here first. And congratulations on your performance, Luke, tonight. And if you do race next week, I wish you the best of luck.
cheers.
Yeah, thank you. And I think for the takeaway we can take from that is I don't think anyone's looking forward to USA, so that's going to be a good race next week. I'm sure that's going to be an interesting one to watch. But that is where we're going to round off the stream today, guys. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in for the first race of the season. Thank you to our podium finish as well for joining us in the commentary box. Thank you, Jess, as well, for filling in for Nolan tonight. It's been great commentating alongside you. Hopefully we'll get to commentate alongside each other once again in Division 3. Obviously, tune in to League of Europe YouTube channel in just over 10 minutes' time for Divisions 2 and 5. Make sure to tune in for that one. Those two races are sure to be great races, just like Division 3 was as well. But we will see you on the League of Europe YouTube channel this time next week for round 2 at the Circuit of the Americas. For myself and Jess, it is thank you very much and goodbye.